Okay, welcome Rising WISP Juniors. And this is the video where we're going to talk about the Math Analysis and Approaches higher level course. Some of these slides are duplicative, and I'm assuming you've watched the video that talks about the four courses in general. So I'm going to move through those slides very quickly to get to the meat of the presentation, which is at the very end. Okay, so this is just an overview of the course itself, along with the concepts and teaching method. You've seen that in the other video. This is a breakdown of the teaching hours in Analysis HL by each of the five strands. So you can see that calculus is the most important part of this course, followed by geometry and trigonometry and number and algebra. And then functions and statistics and probability are not emphasized as much in this course as in some of the other courses. This is just a summary of how popular the course has been at WIS over the past. I don't want you to pick a course based on popularity, but you can see in the first few years, this course had a reputation of being the hardest WIS course, and so the people who wanted to challenge themselves chose it. As the other courses, as people have learned more about the other courses, and they have rightfully gained their place as good selections as well. We've moved from about 30% of the people at WIS choosing this course down to about 25%. And I expect that those numbers will be roughly the same as we move forward. Okay, now here's the meat of the presentation. The next two slides, which are the final two slides, just talk about what topics in particular are going to be covered, right? And so not only do we have 5 topic strands, but we're going to have 17 units in this course. They are not sequential based on the topic strand. In other words, we don't do all the number and algebra, then all the functions, then all the statistics, et cetera, et cetera. We spiral back and forth, right? It also has nothing to do with the order that's presented in your Oxford textbook. And so we designed the course, we at WIS designed the course so that these first 5 units cover as much of the common content of the 4 courses as possible. So if you find yourself changing, you'll have the least disruption in terms of how much you have to make up when you go to your new course. And also we designed it so that these 17 units, we wanted to get to calculus as quickly as possible and then take a couple of passes at it. And so again, this concept of spiraling is important because when you take the IB exam, you're going to find that the questions don't say, oh, this is a functions question, this is a calculus question, this is blah, blah, blah. They will combine topics from multiple strands of the course and multiple units of the course. So we'll start off on unit 1 with sequences and series. And then in this course, proof is included in that. This is one of the more challenging concepts of the course, which is why we wanted to put it right up front. Also, proof is rears its head in many of the other units. So we want to give you a good background on that right off the bat. Then we talk about counting principles and the binomial theorem, which are fundamental building blocks for probability questions. Then we'll get to units 3 and 4 on functions and polynomials. That'll feel a lot like grade 10. And then a unit on statistics. That'll feel a lot like grade 9. And that will get you through the first semester. In the semester 2, we start with calculus, talking about limits, which is the building block of differential calculus, and then derivatives. And then we'll do a unit on the applications of differentiation. Then we move into 2 units, which are going to feel like grade 10, geometry and trigonometry, and then trig functions. And then we'll do a unit on the calculus of trigonometric functions, specifically the derivatives of trigonometric functions. That'll take us through the first year. When you come back in year 2, you'll have a unit on exponential and logarithmic functions, including the derivatives of those functions. Then we will move into integral calculus or anti-differentiation. Then we'll do a unit on applications of integration. Then we'll take a little detour into probability and probability distribution. So probability is grade 9, and then probability distributions will be the newer content. And then we'll close out the year with 3 pretty challenging units. One that's called further calculus, sounds kind of scary, but it's differential equations, it's L'Hopital's rule for evaluating limits, and it's Maclaurin series. So they're pretty advanced topics in calculus. Then we'll do a unit on vectors, which is out of the geometry strand, and then we'll finish up with a unit on complex numbers. How are you going to be assessed? You've seen this in the other video, so I'll do this very quickly. 3 papers. Paper 1 and paper 2 are both 2-hour exams and each count for 30% of your IB grade. Paper 1 is a no calculator test and paper 2 is a calculator allowed test. Both paper 1 and paper 2 are split into section A and section B, which is section A is short response questions, 5, 6, 7, 8 marks per question, and section B are long response, probably 12, 15 marks per question with multiple parts. Then paper 3 is a 1-hour exam. It's only 2 questions. The calculator is allowed, and it's called an extended response. So they're even longer than long response. So the questions are like 25 to 30 marks per question. And then you will have the IA, which is the mathematical exploration. The goal here is to pick a topic before you leave grade 11. That way, if you want to work on it in the summer, you can, not required to, but you can. It'll help you if you can. And then you'll do most of the work in the fall of senior year, and you will finish. You'll write a draft, and then you'll write a final, and you'll finish kind of late January, early February of your senior year. Okay, so that is your summary of the math analysis course. And if you have any questions, you can talk to any WIS math teacher for further details.